Walked up. Bless the wolves be the chief. Yo.
I sketch silence, ain't gun smoke. Map hits with the ghost. Broke bread in the ruins where the loyalty roasts. Shadows move like chess knights, quiet and poised. Voice calm, but I orchestrate the city's noise. Blueprint folded in a stained leather case where the numbers match names and the Bodie's lab trace. Moving freight through tunnels like Rome reborn. Cross states with the math of a crown to swarm. Hitters don't smile, just nod, then fade. My orders ride wind, no text, no blade. These walls breed secrets from deals in the dark where a whisper can spark what a war couldn't start. Laundered prayers in a laundromat front. Bricks taped in the lining of a bishop's blunt. See, I build not with hands but with legends and dread. You can't kill what's already buried ahead. Move in silence, cast no light. Build empires from breathless nights. Blueprints buried in dirt and doubt. The shadows where the real ones route. The architect don't talk, he draws. You call me ghost, for the streets had that slang. Cause I pulled strings from the mist like a weather king. Duct tape logic in the cracks of the system. Eyes like cold glass, no blink, no rhythm. Never touch the work, just orchestrate wars. Never kick doors, but I write with their force. Stash codes in the hem of a priest's robe. Where the sermon got sold and the halos corrode. It's deeper than dope, more layered than lies. I architect the exits before the plan dies. My era was bred with discipline and steel. Before flash meant truth, before flex was real. I never raised my voice just to stop price. Had shooters in suits, sipping death on ice. And if I vanish, know the city still breathes. Cause I ink my bones in its bloodstained ease. I move in silence, cast no light. Build empires from breathless nights. Blueprints buried in dirt and doubt. The shadows where the real ones route. The architect don't talk, he draws. Most men want the spotlight, but the ones who run it sit in the back. Bring the back.
There's a silence after battle, louder than any scream I ever heard.
Yo, it's like the sky cry when a soldier falls silent. Shells kiss the concrete, echoing the violence. Umbrella full of holes from a rainy vendetta, where the tears mix with powder and the Berettas let us see my man drop. No script, no pause, just a flicker in the storm, then the silence claws. We ain't grow with dreams, just options to survive. Either flip or get flipped, either ride or get dive. I remember cold nights with the grip in the coat, hand steady while my conscience started to choke. Mom said I smelled like the ghost of my youth, but I walk with the truth in a bloodstained suit. My shadow don't follow, it duck with the heat. Even death keep its distance when I walk the street. And I still see his face in the puddle reflection, like the rain can't wash what's etched in the tension. Shell cases in the rain, memories drip through the pain. Heard his last breath in the thunder roll. This block, don't forget what it stole. Shell cases in the rain. Yeah. Yo, we used to whistle through wars like lullabies. Now I light candles where the gunfire lies. The alley still whisper like a mother in grief. Every crack in the sidewalk tells a story beneath. I got visions of a mask and a slow exhale. Every hood got a priest that the system failed. I remember days when we prayed with the steel, cause hope don't survive where the bullets are real. They said don't flinch, just blink with aim. And don't mourn long, just reload the name. But I carry too many to fake the calm. I got ghosts that tattoo my psalms in my palm. Now I sit in the kitchen where the pistols wait. Raindrops on the window like the tears of fate. Tried to wash it away but the guilt remains. Some blood just stains through the shell in the rain. Shell cases in the rain. Memories drip through the pain. Heard his last breath in the thunder roll. This block, don't forget what it stole. Shell cases in the rain. Some nights the rain ain't just water, its name just echoes.
You walked in quiet, like money in an envelope. But when things went wrong, he left the room louder than thunder.
Yeah. See, I move like whispers in a counting room, where the silence more deadly than a crowded tomb. Paper folds slow, no need to flex. I let the numbers talk, never send a text. Suit stitched tight with a burner in the seam. Loyalty bought cheap if you shop in a dream. Learn chess on the steps with the corner knights. Now I board planes where the sins take flight. Offshore ledges but the dirt's still local. My name rings soft but the impact's vocal. Never brag, just bag, let the silence talk. Got the blueprint drawn in invisible chalk. I ain't loud with it, I'm carved in stone. Made peace with the ghost in my flip phone tone. I kept the trigger finger under cashmere gloves, cause the realest ones never need to prove what they was.
Quiet money, loud guns, that's the balance I keep. Made millions off whispers while they died in the street. Velvet on the handle, silence in the fun. When I strike, it ain't thunder, it's the echo of one.
Hey yo, I came up where the pockets was slim and the odds was heavy. Now I goes through cities like a blacked out Chevy. I'm talking decimals, invest in the stress. Got shooters in the tuxedo, ain't no need to press. My dough don't scream, it hums through walls. Room from a cipher where the wild fate calls. Back when the burner tucked close like kin. Now our wire moves clean, let the suits begin. I'm the calm in the storm, the smoke that don't clear. The silk with a razor sewn right in the rear. Never posed in gold, I composed in dirt. Wrote psalms in the margins of a money alert. I don't flash, I finesse, smooth with the speech. Flip birds with a nod, no hands, no reach. Now it's custom drapes, quiet estates, but I still hear the noise when the silence breaks.
Quiet money, loud guns, that's the balance I keep. Made millions off whispers while they died in the street. Velvet on the handle, silence in the fun. When I strike, it ain't thunder, it's the echo of one. Quiet money, loud guns, that's the balance I keep. Made millions off whispers while they died in the street. Velvet on the handle, silence in the fun. When I strike, it ain't thunder, it's the echo of one.
Even in the rubble, we prayed not for mercy, but for the strength to make sense of the fire.
Yeah, I've been baptized in back alleys, dipped in chrome with a preacher got a pistol and praise alone. Used to write psalms in the margin of my pain till the blood washed the ink and it bled in the rain. Granny had a rosary wrapped round the gauge, said, baby, if they come for you, just flip the page. I never seen God, but I met his wrath. In the cell with a junkie screaming about the past. The choir don't sing in my hood no more, just sirens and key and a knock at the door. So I light candles with a 45's breath, hope the flame catch a name that escaped from death. My sins got weight, they creak my steps, but I walk like a prophet in these Timbs, no rest. Forgive me, Lord, if I stumble in flame, but I'm searching for heaven with a street man's name. This my concrete song, I kneel in the smoke with a prayer for the real and a blade for the broke. This my sermon in shells, my gospel in rust, where the angels wear hoodies and they bleed like us. I came from the chapters they don't teach in school, where the book was a 38 and the verses were cruel. Mama cried when she heard what I wrote in chalk on the wall where my brother took his final walk. I seen halos fall and turn to brass, saints do dirt just to stretch the stash. Now my temples crack, but I still light incense, burning sage over rage in the fifth intent. I speak in tongues of the fallen and wise, where the sky don't open but the heart still tries. The reverend got a limp from a past he buried, and my homie wears trauma like it's necessary. But even in the blackest night I kneel, cause the whisper in my chest still feeling real. This ain't hope, this survival in song, and every bar I spit is a psalm to the gone. This my concrete song, I kneel in the smoke with a prayer for the real and a blade for the broke. This my sermon in shells, my gospel in rust, wear hoodies and they bleed like us. Velvet blade in the sleeve, I toast with ghosts. My name embedded in scripts, etched coast to coast. Ivory daggers, blood on the handles rolls. That's love, term lethal in control clothes. Rolly got the calligraphy dial, eastbound. Shaitan and silk, prayers get drowned. My rings hold secrets from Syrian crowns. Each gem is a sin, polished and profound. I build syndicates from smoking sage. We meet in bathhouses, quote from ancient page. The oud burns slow while the opulence ages. Got deals in Aramaic ink on gold leaf page. pages. This ain't fashion, it's folklore and fabric. Pyramids in my posture, my silence is graphic. The Benz purrs like a lion behind lattice, and my Rolex tick like it's reading old habits. Ivory daggers, the tailor sold the crime. Gold teeth smile like a verse from divine. Strings from Damascus, stitched to the spine. Luxury and violence in perfect align. Flake cuffs on the bespoke tux. The shooter don't flinch when the profit get touched. My driver read roomy. My chef make harissa, the maid pour mint tea over stolen Ibiza. Gun hidden in the Torah pages flip well. We smuggle silk and morals, not just scales. Show part lit like crescent moons at dawn. And my sins too rare to be born. Desert winds for my name through the dunes, like a prayer wrapped in shadows under blood orange moons. The courtroom smell like ooh when I stand. Tailor testimony lies trimmed by hand. Gucci prayer rug red like the Nile. Saint Laurent shades, even my silence got style. The past still dances in the wine dark dust, where every smile I gave was followed by dust.
The wire was dead, but he knew better. At midnight, the mic always listens.
Midnight city bleed in Morse code tap. I spit with a whisper, eyes sharp on the map. The street don't sleep, it lurks and loops. And the mic check sound like a gun in the booth. Got lines in my dome that decode like fate. Every rhyme is a file at the ages wait. Seen brothers vanish off bars they spit, so I bury my truths where the syntax split. I was raised by shadows and chessboard tales, where the snitch speaks off through the bug stairwells. I don't test mics, I test fate with breath. My voice weighed gold when it echoed through death. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Not even who's listening? Who's not? No rap, if you live, wait, fail for the plot. The booth ain't safe, it remembers what you said. Oh, mic check at midnight, speaking me dead. Yo, I lace my bars in triple encrypts, with a burner in the booth and a tongue that flips. They wired the hallway, they bugged the pen, so I rhyme in the cipher. A 12 wise man, every bar's got a tail, every line got weight. Had a dream I got locked for a metaphor of fate. I don't rhyme for applause, I rhyme for war. Got verses in my soul that the feds implore. Spit cold like a case file sealed in dust, and my mic got a wire, so I spit with mistrust. Even silence speaks in a cipher breath, so I rhyme like I'm ducking eternal death. I speak in decimals, medical with lyrical shells. One metaphor for me could collapse and tell. Every word I release been through 5 filters. Mic made of Kevlar, booth built by builders. I don't check mics, I dissect sound, break it down like an autopsy buried in ground. My notebook's been watched since 99, so I rhyme with a code like I'm dodging time. I saw agents in the waveform, ghosts in the mix, so I rhyme through the storm with encrypted scripts. Midnight speaks with a hum in the frame, and the mic always knows who's saying your name. Attire leather brief, thought it held the keys, but it held my man's bones, sealed with grief. Custom locked from Geneva, cold from the past, and the scent of betrayal poured out like gas. He was my brother, 10 toes in the flame, shared meals, shared biz, now it's just a name. I carried him quiet through airports and guards, same bag we used for bricks, now it's scarred. This ain't business, this ghost in the shell, we used to toast in suits, now I toast to hell. He died for the oath, for a bag and a lie, and I never got to ask why. All that we build, turn to smoke. All that we had, now you choke.
Ashes in the briefcase, steel in the heart. Deals turn funerals, life fell apart.
Yeah, open the case, felt cold like a street. Not the money kind, but the 6 feet deep. My man got burned for a clause in a deal. Now he ride in a box where the ink ain't real. He ain't folding, snitched, didn't squeal or scream, just vanished in smoke like a lost regime. Now I hold his remains where the cash once laid, next to bloodstained notes in a broken blade. Loyalty die in a cell or a verse, but he died with silence like a monk in a hearse. So I carry that weight through customs and fate. Ashes in a case, too late to trade.
All that we built,
Turn to smoke.
all that we had.
Now you choke. Ghost in a Samsonite, death with a stamp. Every step I take feel like a funeral ramp.
He flows through the slow streets like a ghost in reverse. The city didn't change, he did.
Rain hit the windshield like quiet applause. 10 deep in thought, no breaks, no pause. Yeah. Passenger seat empty, or so it seemed. But I feel Ray's laugh and Pop's pipe dream. Rear view, hold memories I never outgrow. Like the first brick flip, first love let go. She said I changed, truth is I froze in the heat. So she left me with tears in the passenger seat. Gun tucked by the gear shift, heart in the knot. Same Ave where I ran when the block got hot. I passed by the steps where my brother got clapped. Now every red light feel like a silent trap. Shadows don't talk, cause they just ride and cry when the city pass by. I still cruise like I'm searching for time undone. Tense low, mind drifting where the pain begun. Shorty used to sing to the radio static. Now it's silence and guilt like a cinematic. We made moves, now the moves make me. Seeing ghosts in the glass like a cracked CD. My man Tone said, see, don't lose your soul. But I lost more in love than I ever in gold. This ain't a drive, it's a prayer in motion. A confessional booth with a wheel in ocean. I park by the pier, just watch the waves and think of the ones I ain't helped to save. This ain't no car ride, it's a funeral march in reverse. Some passengers don't speak, some never left. But when the streets go quiet, you hear them sitting right there beside you. I see names fade off corners like chalk and rain. Shorty with a dream got lost in pain. Never made the news, just a whisper and wind. Cops hit the bag, no one asked where he been. He had bars in his notebook, sold in his walk. Used to spit on the stoop, hit a king's type talk. But the world don't crown you unless you bleed. And roses don't grow with a landlord's fee. I like candles on curbs with a flame of guilt. Wondering what I ain't said or built. Some pass loud, guns flash applause, but the realest fade quiet like midnight laws.
I lay these roses for the ones they forget. I pray your name still echoes in breath. To the ones with no song, I still write for y'all.
Peace. I seen angels with dust in they locks and eyes. Ghetto saints that the system just let die. They ain't get murals or verses in rap. They got moms with framed shirts and a faded map. I used to walk past them, nod and go. Now I hear their voice in my prayer echo. Used to rock that stoop with a rhyme and flame. Now the air feel hollow when I say they name. We eulogize legends but forget the soil, where the light never hit and the water spoils. So I plant these bars like seeds of sweat for the brother in the corner we all forget.
I lay these roses for the ones they forget. I pray your name still echoes in breath. I ain't got a bouquet, but I brought a verse for the names they buried without a hearse. I ain't got a bouquet, but I brought a verse for the names they buried without a hearse. all alone.
Yo, my words hover like incense in a boarded up shrine, where the preachers pack steel and the poets do time. Corner prophets in hoodies where eyes like the sky, seen too much to be young but too broke to die. Graffiti gospel written in the language of pain. Project elevators that moan like Coltrane. I speak for the children with chalk on their lips, drawing halos on pavement where the angels slip. They ask most how you float where the devil's march. Said I scribble freedom in the dark with a rebel's heart. Dre put the boom in my bloodstream, bounce in my bones, so I walk through these zones like I built them in poems.
Lives in alleyways. Truth lives in alleyways.
I speak the gospel through broken glass. And yo, trap bass up just a little.
Lives in alleyways. Truth lives in alleyways.
Just a little bit, so survive, yeah. Come on.
I got sermons in my syllables, sweating my speech, every bar like a lesson that the textbooks don't teach. Crack vinyl dreams spinning in the cutlass supreme. I decode the unseen in the glit of a beam. See, this ain't rap, this rhythm and resistance. From basements where ambition danced with persistence. Dre gave me that swing, I gave it blood and dust. Now we baptizing beats, the name of the just. The oracle they wearing robes of gold chains. He's the brother on the stoop with weather pains, with a matchbook Bible and a spliff on his lips, preaching ballads to the shore. He's holding heat on their hips.
Truth lives in alleyways. Truth lives in alleyways.
Every crack, every concrete, a first waste.
Truth lives in alleyways. Yeah, the wisdom ain't gone, it's just tucked in crates.
County word to Watts, Bed-Stuy, South Central H-Town.
You don't need a pulpit to be righteous. Just a voice that don't flinch when the silence get violent.
Silk scars cover the wrist bones, stitched in revenge. Arabic rugs and chrome berettas draped by the Benz. I move like souks in Marrakesh, gold on my lens. Cartier frame, silence speaks more than your friends. Crescent moons on the cufflinks, serpent koi on the scent. Wood in the air, the devil wore Burberry trench. Washed in Medina smoke, got sins I rent. Still baptized money like I tithe in French. From the suit to the suit, hand tailored in Naples. Dice games on silk cloth, gamblers with halos. Tapestries from Cairo, hanging where the safe go. Watches don't tick, just glide, that's how the grace flow. Masai moves, I read Hebrew in the margins. Black prayer beats swinging from the carbon. Every verse emergence, matte linen draped jargon. Turn a mosque echo into mafioso doctrine. Silk scars and crescent gold, the past don't fold. Every luxury draped in stories never told. From Mecca sands to Riviera roads, I count sins like diamonds, heavy on the soul. Thoughts like Persian ink spill slow in Damascus. Road bars and bazaars where the fate's so passive. Luxury in layers like a Bedouin passage. Date palms and AKs in the camo fabrics. Louboutin boots, snake skin in the heel. Falafel and foil, but the chains say veal. Gold tooth clean like it's smuggled through customs. The judge wore robes, but his hands still rustling. Turban wrapped tight like the product on camels. Desert wind whispers, deals through the sandal. Street tales told in tea houses with candles. My stories, Quranic just minus the scandals. Show part glistening, marble floor sentencing. I trap like a scripture with halal discipline. Dates in the palace, figs by the spindle. I toast with kings and robes so simple. Silk scars and crescent gold, the past don't fold. Every luxury draped in stories never told. From Mecca sands to Riviera roads, I count sins like diamonds, heavy on the soul.
Yo. Straight out the Fort Greene furnace, I spit the code where the Av writes novels in the hustler's mode. Grew up where the shots echo symphony sharp and the truth hide inside of a shopping cart. Got my lessons from the OGs with dice scars who survived war bids and they seen stars. We mixed rhythm with risk, love with the letters. Spit gems on the stoop while the struggle was fed. BK alchemy, I flip pain to position. Black hoodie mark, drop jewels in transmission. My roots deep like Bed-Stuy basements breathing. I carry the borough in the air I heave. I rep the birthplace of flames, where the boom bap spark. BX where the words got more weight than the bark. We turn burnt buildings to temples of bars and wove pain through the rhythm like invisible scars. Seen ciphers and stairwells, divine math, where the young write scriptures in the smoke-stained path. You don't talk but you ain't live, that's gospel, son. And the mic don't lie when the verse weigh a ton. I spit with the breath for the blocks that built, where every handshake got away with guilt. Wrong science, baby, turn bricks to belief and watch truth rise slow through the cracks in the street.
Queensbridge Chronicles, wisdom and blood, where the blueprint was hunger and the ink was mud. I walk through the hallways of dreams deferred, where the quiet ones move like a poet's word. Got respect from the dealers and the jailhouse scribes, cause I spit what they live, not a verse in disguise. I took the fragments, made fire from flaws. Alchemy in motion when I bend these laws. We don't glorify death, we just speak what's near. And in every bar's breath, a spirit appear. Queen's alchemy, I'm a vessel of voice, and I rhyme for the kids who ain't given a choice. From the stoops to the stars, we was born in a strain. Mixed dust with the rhythm, turn lost in the game. From bar to bar, and the formula's pain. It's 5-bar alchemy, truth in the vein. This ain't just rap, this is city speak. Brick language, iron dialect, and if you mix it right,
they asked him 100 times, offered him time, freedom, even cash. He just lit a cigarette and never blinked. Yo, they built statues for silence, not for rats with breath. For the ones who took years but never whispered death. Kept the code through indictments and why in hell. With a stare like stone and a soul that don't sell. Seen them break kings with a folder and pen. Offer 10 if you spill, 20 more if you bend. But I know brothers who rot with a grin still sealed, cause they sign their name in scars, not deals. It's more than G-code, it's honor in the ash. It's a name etched in steel when the questions flash. You ain't built for this war if you talk to heal, cause the cure for betrayal got no appeal. So I walk through the mist like a judge with pain, and my verses got dirt where the truth was slain. This is shadow talk, scripture for the stone face. Statues of the snitchless in a wiretap place. No deals, no squeals, no trembling tongue. We honor the vow where the real die young. No taps, no tongue, shit niggas of trust. Statues of the snitchless slip. No deals, no squeals, no trembling tongue. We honor the vow where the real die young. No taps, no talks, just chambers and trust. Statues of the snitchless, weathered by dust. Yeah. They offer me freedom wrapped in a mic cord. Said to speak on the record like a holy reward. But I spit in the wind and I chewed the charge, cause the silence I kept was the sound that scars. My pop said some names live, some rot in ink. So I built my word where the rats all sink. This ain't about fear, it's the price of the game. The oath in your chest when they threaten your name. I seen killers break for a slice and a soda, snitching in suits with a badge on the shoulder. But legends, they sit in the dark with pride, say nothing but breathe like the truth's inside. So I chisel these bars with a silent scream for the brothers who vanish but never leave the dream. And I spit with a flame that no badge can hush, a statue in silence, covered in dust. No notes, no names, no saved in face, just time in the cold and the depth of grace. No books, no pens, just eyes like drums. Statues of the snitchless, legends of the slums. Some folks talk their way into history, but the real ones, they carve it in silence.
disappears, it never exists in the first place.
Step 1, never use your name in ink. Alias stitched in the glitch that blink. Erase that face from the glass and grid. Villain moves swift like sins never did. Step 2, unlearn the map they drew. Cities ain't streets, they traps in view. He walk with signal dies and small, where dogs don't bark and truth stay fog. Step 3, speak less, mask stay tight. Every word a weapon, every tone invite. Burn birth dates, kill the trail. Even ghosts know silence, don't fail. Step 4, cut all loops and logs. That watchtower tech got teeth like dogs, so he carried his thoughts in ciphered flow, tucked in a notebook from years ago. Step 5, memories are leaked, so plug it. Cut ties clean, no call, just snub it. Villain sip tea in the rain, no trace. Only thing left, that ink in space. Final rule, never seek applause. Disappear so deep, even deep hit pause. Legacy ain't loud, it hums and cold, like footprints made before roads are road.
To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. No.
You met him in an alley with a fedora dipped low. Breath cold as the ink in the villain's flow. Said, you ain't early, I just came prepared. Death chuckle, lit smoke and polluted air. Spare me the riddle, Varv grin through steel. Life's a bad bargain and death's the deal. Reaper said cute, most run of prey, but this one rhymes like he came to stay. Vaughn replied, I'm right where your shadow leans. Syllables sharper than guillotine dreams. You tally names, I scramble fate. They fear your grip, I annotate. You bleed in ink, I bleed in ends. You kill in silence, I kill with pens. I knock once, they bow low. I don't answer, I just flow. You spit with pride, but your clock still ticks. Every rhyme you drop just builds my bricks. Barn lean back, let the moment melt. Said, even you need stories felt. You feed on fear, I sell a cure. Where you bring absence, I'll make them pure. I speak in scars and alleyway codes, in chalk lines shaped like forgotten notes. Death grinned wide, ash fell from his sleeve. You stole well, but no one leaves. Even legends rot when the record fades. Var wrote bars in the air like blades. I ain't here to die, just to document. Your silence speaks, mine pays rent. So write me off, but before I'm ash, know I made kids laugh in a world this brash. I end the breath, I end the verse. What I gave a mind to rehearse. I own the void, I own the noise. Well.
Woke in the maze where the floorboards breathe. Truth wear chains while the liars leave. Dust in the lungs from the crawl-space silence. Ink in the page like a blueprint of violence. No face seen when the lockpick sings. Just one flash blink and the data clings. Gears don't grind, they whisper commands. Posts in the wall, blueprints in the sand. Crack in the glass shows a crack in the plan. He walked through wires like it's part of the land. No prayer works when the clock hand bends and the hallway warps at the story's end. Every word weighed, every sound's a cipher. Each echo trapped it in a glassy hyper. Hands don't shake and the mirror don't care. No echo returns from a hollow stare. Mouth stitched shut but the thoughts still how. He drew maps on the floor with a rusted trowel. The shadow moves but it never breathes. Don't blink, something's under the seams. Gloom in the grid, truth in the glitch. Eyes stay wide, shadows don't flinch. Slit in the veil where the memories loop. He saw smoke speak and the silence stoop. Cold ink bled like a bird with no cage. Wrote in the dark from a tear in the page. Steel don't feel when the nerves retract. Each cold crack just reveals more traps. Suit in the socket, blood in the latch. What looks like a door is a wormhole hatch. Pulse in the wires, faint tap in the drain. Rhyme carved slow like a script through pain. There's no applause when the ghosts applaud. Just static in the hall and a glitching guard. The flash don't boil, it waits and listens. Breath like a prayer in the echo's prison. No map, no myth, just rhythm and dread. And the voice that returns from the books unread. The shadow moves, but it never breathes. Don't blink, something's under the seams. Gloom in the grid, truth in the glitch. Eyes stay wide, shadows don't flinch.
Any fear if it follows every step? It's fact. In the shadow still there. Even when the light turns black.
Yo, red wire humming, black cord frayed. He maps escape routes where the shadows fade. Screwdriver tongue picks locks with verse. Heist so clean it ran time in reverse. Blueprint dust in his coat like ash. He ain't move fast, just move past the crash. Encrypted speech stitched inside a beat, where guards walk loops in a mental repeat. Palm print clone from a smudge on glass. He whispered through walls in a frequency class. No gun, no threat, just logic bent. Left the riddle in chalk at the scene and spent. They searched for proof, but the room just stared. The chair spun slow with two split hairs. All files white, replaced by rhyme. And the drawing of a 9 collapse in time. He moved through plans like smoke through light. One wrong blink and you lose the night.
No trace, no tag, no breath, no rush.
Just blueprints falling into layers of dust. Vent shaft breathing like a beast on mute. He slid through the pipes in a broken suit. Carved his name in a post and split. Wrote the address of truth in a counterfeit kit. No safe untouched, no camera alive. He jammed their system with a lullaby drive. Slipped past guards with a looped out grin. Replaced his image with violent skin. Tapes in his bag hung low with facts. Bars that rearrange memory tracks. He ain't want cash, he wanted design. The shape of a vault that reacts to rhyme. No footprints, just heat and air. A hallway echo in a flick of hair. The boss said freeze it, but it's too late. The villain took thought and reshaped fate.
The most dangerous creation of any society is the man who has nothing to lose.
Clock hit 3, the breeze got tense. He mapped the floor plan by the camera lens. No steel gloves, just chalk and breath. He sent one rhyme through the vents like death. Blue ink bled on a paper napkin. Came from the diner where the plot was hatching. Tapped in the systems with syllables bent. Each metaphor carved in the circuit sent. Hallway code, he moved like script. Wrote a new exit in the mainframe's crypt. No prints, no lights, no sign of entry. Just a scribble on the wall, verse 8 entry. Every step was a bar, each blink a delay. He ain't just robbed, he rewrote the day. Inside that locker, a black book hung with a code that could make whole governments dumb. He slipped through logic, slid past fate. All for the key to the 8th locker gate. Vault of thought, mind unsealed, where myths were locked and truth concealed. He ain't come for gold, he came for the map, where the lies of the world were drawn in a trap. Skimmed past lasers with invisible ink. Left behind dust that forced men to think. Clocks all froze, safes clicked open. He spoke in a code that the steel found broken. Hallways walked when he bent the rhyme. Like physics itself just ran out of time. No alarms rang, no guards awake. Just a verse in the air and a mental quake. He read from the book, just one line flat, and made satellites turn where the future sat. No fame chase, no criminal brag, just silence and footprints that spiral and drag. By dawn, all systems reset their fate, but the locker was gone and the world felt late. He slipped through logic, slid past fate, all for the key to the 8th locker gate. Vault of thought, mind unsealed, where myths were locked and truth concealed. Tape is so trying to beat the cage like tape. Through the mate out, ain't like your child lie, ain't like your child lie.
The meanest weapon in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed.
Villain move quiet through the scholarless zone, carving ancient scripts in a flip phone tone. School ain't safe, just a boot camp blur, so we fed him forbidden verse under old street slurs. Library burned, but his rhyme books breathe, tucked in a coat with a blade in the sleeve. Agents of silence, try taping his thoughts, but he write with cipher and ghosts can't spot. Hood priest with a mind like Morse, sent poems and code through the police force. He saw brains cage while the chains looked free, so he cracked that spell with a villainous key. Snuck in the towers with graffiti chants, tagging math on walls in the dead man stance. They teach you to beg and forget your blade. He teaches to question the price you paid.
Hope is a weapon if you sharpen the edge. Truth ain't safe when it sleeps in your head. Villains smuggle verses through land. Hope is a weapon if you sharpen the edge. Truth ain't safe when it sleeps in your head. Villains smuggle verses through land.
Dress lies in a cap and gown, while the real ones rot in a downtown crown. He flipped bars like a lockpick's edge, and found dead gods in the school board pledge. Burned they tests and rewrote the page. Now the villain teach law in a bulletproof cage. Chalkboard dreams with a trench coat breath. He scribe while they panic from what's left. He ain't preach, just encode and move like jazz in a cipher with no fake groove. Mind like a maze with a wiretap loop, so he spit in reverse, watch the whole world stoop. Enemy is static, outlaw, fake. Mass scholar with a scalpel-shaped stake. He don't shoot, he scribble till systems bleed and feed the kids books they outlawed in need.
Words get bent when the wires combust. He scribbled in fog in the fumes in the dust.
Y'all slip through the gate with a flick and a grin. Blueprints taped to the skin under skin. Echoes in jars kept truth on a leash. Voice so low, even silence don't speak. Flames in the hallway, books on the burner. Notes from the cold where the clocks don't turn up. Rain wrote scripture on the side of the train. He memorized paths in the cracks of the brain. Mass gate middle, its meaning in folds. Kept time hostage in the canister of mold. Each line brittle, each hook been twisted. Verse like a trap that the world never listed. Fluorescent flicker in the lab, he slept. Dreams full of ink that the void had kept. Thread count low on the truth he stitched. Reality frayed when the rhyme got glitched.
Smoke in the shape of a map. Let us drift off the page. He don't talk loud, he cold in quotes. Syllables swim through the ink in the smoke.
Yeah, step from the basement with dust in his pulse. Carried a pen like a blade with a coat. Built out of moments that never got named. Each bar stitched from a long lost flame. Mirror said nothing but cracked at the edge. He rhymed like a monk with a switchblade pledge. Tongue like a locksmith, breath like a glitch. Reality flipped when the fuse got stitched. Pages don't lie, they just fold in the dark. He whispered the ghost through a graphite spark. Each vowel hangs in a noose of delay. Tape reels rewind, but the thoughts don't stay. Villain ain't human, just thoughts in decay. A myth in a coat made of yesterday's clay. Truth ain't found, it dissolves on the path. He wrote it in smoke, then he vanished in half.
Smoke in the shape of a map. Smoke in the shape of a map. Let us drift off the page. He don't talk loud, he encoding quotes. Syllables swim through the smoke. Swim through the ink in the smoke.
They asked where he went, but he was never seen. Only heard through static in a smudge.
Built bars from ash, made math from rust. He mapped out the void with blueprints and dust. Fucking mad at the dust.
Tap the drum like a lock on a vault. Each bar coded, no default salt. Truth don't echo in the room, don't care. So we rap to the mold in the midnight air. Eyes like graph paper, mind like a glitch. Slid through a cipher with a match and a stitch. Letters in the fog, footsteps in chalk. He walked like a riddle that the wise couldn't talk. Rust in the meter, mold on the fader. Came from the cellar with a notebook of data. Rhymes don't punch, they crawl through cracks. Past floorboards, walk with a silent stacks. Name ain't known, but the voice been felt in the seams of the dreams that the street once dealt. Scribbled in code, kept quiet in tone. Laid verses like bones in the tape decks home.
Loaded box in your image, friend.
With the pattern for me.
Filling left lines where the time don't stop.
He
don't find truth, it's what you rethink. Click clack cadence from a lab in a tomb. Voice stitched tight like a matchstick broom. Burned every map once the rhyme was carved. Spoke in distortion like a tape that starved. No fingerprints, just prints of sound. Each echo a ghost that the vinyl drowned. No hooks for the crowd, no flash in the flame. Just a mask in the pen and a glitch in the frame. He ain't rap, he an echo in the flood. A clock with no hands in a room full of mud. Pages don't flip, they twitch in the mist. He wrote this bar with a phantom's fist. One mic, two wires, no need for gold. Just notebooks wrapped in secrets untold. Rhymes don't rhyme, they reveal or combust. Found a future drawn in blueprints and dust.
Pen is mightier than the sword when it's in the right hand.
Pen sat calm on a notepad edge. Pistol tucked warm by the alleyway ledge. One spoke scriptures in a silent storm. The other drew blood where the cold wind swarmed. Pistol barked, ain't no peace in mind. I end debates in a tenth of time. Pen just smirked, dipped back in ink. Said you kill fast, but you die in state. Page flipped slow as the trigger got teased. Each wrote fate in the way they squeeze. Ink bled codes from forgotten scrolls. Iron spit shells through corrupted souls. Both born broke, raised in the grime. Same street roots, but different climb. Pen wrote laws, revolts, and chants. Pistol wrote names on tombstone brands.
This ain't about peace, it's who rewrites the streets. But murderers don't last. The iron silence, a riot. One leaves scars, the other leaves science.
Ice ain't cash, it's control of the spine. He broke in smooth through a vault in the mind.
Yo, black gloves on thoughts, he slipped through cortex. Mapped out the nerves like a train line vortex. No mask needed, just a tone and phrase. Hypnotized the vault with a spiral of haze. Speech encrypted, tongue like flint. Set fire to the codes with a metaphor glint. Guards on shift, just neurons flicker. He bent the signal till the memories bickered. Walked through dreams with a hacker's grace. Etched new blueprints in a cortex space. He ain't picked locks, he remixed time. Each rhyme a tool from the villainous shrine. Files in his coat, thoughts in his hood. Left the vault shaking, but everything looked good. They woke up blinking, thought it was a nap. But their secrets now live on a dusty tape rack. He crept in silence, rewrote the scheme. Vaults in the mind where he planted a dream. No wounds, no proof, no digital trail. He stole the whole truth through a mental veil. 1 second there, next flicker gone. The mask just floated like dusk at dawn. No keys, no breach, just patterns bent. He left through a synapse exit vent. All for a scroll with a name erased. A list of sins and no lace. Not for money, not for gold or stash, but to balance the past like a line of math. Caught by a whisper in the vending hum. A flicker in the thought where the memory's numb. Now they search the footage, all eyes wide. But he moved through belief, can't catch that stride. No bounty hunters, no cops. Just fingerprints smeared in a rhyme that stops. He's gone with the data, cloak in the breeze. A verse in the wires, a cough in the freeze. He crept in silence, rewrote the scheme. Thoughts in the mind where he planted the dream. No wounds, no proof, no digital trail. He stole the whole truth through a mental veil.
Mask low, voice cold, cooked in a flash. Villain, step in, turn truth in a task.
Slide through smoke like a thief in a thesis. Each line etched like a glyph on a priest's wrist. Clockwork, mind gears grind in the basement. Spit like a glitch in the government placement. No cape, just crates full of vinyl and venom. Villain plot verses with vermin momentum. Chalkboard bars, formulas and margins. Wordplay warp like time in the gardens. Steam from the beaker, fumes form a cipher. Ink bleeds slow like scripts from a lifer. Tongue twist language, spit cold calculus. Truth ain't clean, it's cracked and ravenous. Heist in the booth, no mask for the fame. Just lab coat logic and wires to the brain. City lights flicker, but he move like static. Speech sound coded, villainmatic.
Villain, this that I crack.
Truth in the task, mask in the mist. Burst like a vial when the needle twists.
Stranger with the flash.
Words burn slow, got knowledge to amass. Found in the cracks of forgotten cassette decks. Rhymes so rare it dissolve in the next text. Blueprint BP draft with a whisper. Bars so cold make the mic get a blister. No limelight, just the glow of the Bunsen. Script from the gut, let the realness function. Villain ain't rap, he a cipher equation. Walk through dimensions just off a cadence. Skull full of stanzas, heart of a hacker. Taught by monks with drums and a dagger. Every verse like a code to dismantle. Speakers, symbols, sparks from the mantle. Never no gimmick, just gears and precision. Mirror to the void, spitting pure indecision. Out the shadows with a flask and a flask. Villain in the cut, truth in the task.
He ain't sneak in, he rewrote the locks, typed out the codes in invisible chalk.
Slipped through the firewall, wrote through the floor. Rewired the guard dog strings with folklore. No gloves, no print, just breath and static. He drew the blueprint in a room all padded. Cameras blinked, caught a frame with no face. He walked in steps that erased their place. Key card clone from a napkin's crease. He pulled the whole vault from beneath their piece. No safe crack click, no glass to shatter. He just hung to the wires till the locks got flattered. Sat at the desk, poured tea from steam. Downloaded the files through a rhyme and a scheme. Exit route drawn in a ghost old cough. He floated past lasers like lines burned off. No sirens, no chase, just codes and ropes. Then he vanished mid-step like a carbon ghost.
They never saw him come. They never saw him leave. He ain't steal gold, he stole belief. Carbon copy ghost, no name, no breed. The rhyme was the key. The lock was a beat.
Safe wide open, but nothing looks touched. Just a hum in the air and a clock gone rush. They found one page, blank but dense. When held to the light, it whispered intense. They called it a breach, but no one knew how. The footage showed static, shaped like a brow. Boss said freeze it, tech said nah. It's not a hack, it's a kind of law. Next day came and the vault still breathed. They played back audio, just rust and leaves. No fingerprints, just a pencil's curl with a line that read, "This ain't your world." Back in the van, he erased the tape. Tossed out the loot for a landscape scrape. He ain't want diamonds, he ain't want fame. He wanted the myth to remember his name.
Those who do not move, do not notice their chains.
He ain't robbed banks, he robbed belief. Took the crown off kings with a stanza of grief. Blueprint breathing, chalk line mind state. Slid past time with a rhyme that dilates. Flicker the wrist, wrote code on bricks. Each word hit harder than 100 clicks. Unlocked myths in the archives tomb. Made truth detonate in a concrete room. Snuck through books that were never assigned. Ripped out pages and replaced them with lines. Voice like sand, footprints erased. But he mapped revolution in a poet's case. They studied the footage, saw nothing but blur. Just a shadow with rhythm and a sepia stir. Left the scene with a smirk in the air and a verse that burned through billionaire prayer. And vanished through ash with a chant in the air. So we stole it clean through the firewall veil. Room full of scholars, eyes wide shut. He crept in quiet with a blade in the gut. Not literal steel, but a sharpened phrase that split the system like fault lines blaze. Rewired the myths with a villainous pen. Turned law into dust, turned gods into men. The mic was a scalpel, verse was flame. Erased their flag, reprinted his name. Tapes rewind in a loop he set. Each beat a trap they haven't sprung yet. He ain't need keys, passwords or codes. Just a pause and silence, the knowledge explodes. They don't know how, don't know when, but they feel the glitch like a Falcon Zen. By the time they wake, the facts feel strange. Everything shifted, but nothing changed.
In a time of universal deceit,